Hey, how's it going everybody? And welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I got myself inside Unreal. I scanned my head. We're going to go over how to scan your head. We're going to do everything for free because we're going to use Blender. We're going to use a free app that you can use with Android and iOS. So it should be free if you have a phone. If you have a flip phone, then I'm sorry for you, but this is only for Android and iOS. So we're going to do the scanning, and then we're gonna do some fixes in Blender, and then we're gonna throw the mesh inside Unreal Engine to use with the new Metahuman tool. I'm also going to be teaching you how to do this cool t-shirt that I have on screen. We're gonna talk about the new graphics within Metahuman Creator, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, just real quick to show you how this works. I don't have those fancy iPhone thing screens, so I'm just gonna do it with my camera. Now, what you're gonna need is this app called Polycam. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below. It's called Polycam. As far as I know, it works on Android and iOS. So I'm just gonna click here, and let me just get out of here. And this is the scan that I did of my head that you're gonna see it later on in Blender. And I'm gonna go back here, and I'm just going to click the plus button. Okay, plus button is going to give me a camera. Now it does have two options here. One is LiDAR, one is photo. If you have one of those new Pro iPhones that have the LiDAR sensor, you can use a LiDAR and it should give you better results. I don't, I just have this iPhone because this is my facial motion capture device, and I could use my phone, but this was just easier to use because it's smaller. And doing it with photos, it's actually pretty easy. Now, you could do it with the normal mode, which is you will be taking your shots, or you could do it with the auto mode where you just click here and then start scanning. As you can see, it says hold camera still and tap the record button. Once you tap on that button, it would start taking shots. You just move it and pan it around your head very slowly. The ideal situation would be that somebody would help you with this and will just scan your head in a well-lit room. But if you don't, just go in front of a mirror. It uses the back camera. So if you're by yourself and you're gonna do it with the back camera, the best way to do it is just go in front of a mirror and just start doing it. That's the way that I got the scan that I just showed you, which is this one right here. And as you can see, now, I didn't have the back portion of my head because that would have been very difficult to scan. However, you don't need that for this purpose because all it takes is right the front of your face. Now, once you've done scanning yourself, all you have to do is click this button right here where it has an arrow pointing up. Is just click there, and you're gonna get greeted with this menu, and you have the options to export as OBJ, FBX, and all their formats. Now, most of the formats are from the Pro version. If you get the Pro version, then you can use this. However, I'm showing you how to do it for free, so you can just choose the GLTF version. This version is compatible with Blender out of the box. So all you have to do is open Blender, bring it into Blender, and turn it into an FBX. However, the way that this 3D scan is generated, it probably needs Blender regardless of whichever option you choose, because it needs non-manifold meshes. So we're gonna take it into Blender anyways, and we're gonna do that the next step. So all you have to do is click on GLTF. It's going to ask you where do you want it. You can save it to your files, and if you have a Mac, you can take it out. I don't know how to take things out of this iPhone, so what I did is I just put it on my email, send it to my email. You can also, if you have your Google Drive on your phone, then you can just upload it there, download it later, easy peasy. So all you have to do is download your file and then just move on to the next step. Okay, now here in Blender, what we're going to do is we're going to transform that file into an FBX, because as you saw, we picked a different file because that was the free version. You can do the pay version and you get an FBX right away. However, I do think that you still need to take it through Blender because the geometry is not one geometry. it's broken in pieces. Once you do scans like that, most of the scans that you do, it's usually broken in several different mesh pieces, and that's not going to work for the mesh to metahuman thing. So as usual, we delete everything here so we don't need it. Going to File, Import. I'm going to select GLB, which is the file that we got out. You select FBX or whatever other type of file you do. I'm just going to go into the folder where this is located. And I have mine here in the download folder, which is a poly, because I just got it from my email. So I'm just going to import. I didn't move any of this. This is all by default. So just import, and you're going to get a tiny scan like this. So again, you see that there are some things that I want to correct. And by correcting, I mean just outright delete. But there are other things that we can keep. So I'm just going to switch to, and as you can see, the scan also made a texture for us. Regretfully, this texture doesn't translate into Metahuman Creator, which I did, but we'll try to use an approximation for it. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to talk about here. Is with this scan head, if you had a beard, so if you have some stubble, that's fine. But if you had a beard or if you have long hair, you need to put it into a bun, shave your beard or whatnot, because that will be scanned as a solid piece. Just like you're looking at my hair right here. It got scanned as a solid piece. So if you have a long beard or a mustache, that will be scanned as a solid piece, and this process will not work. So make sure that you don't have to be shaven clean. You can have some stubble, but and if you have long hair, that you tie it. All right, so now that we are here, we're going to go into edit mode. Now we need to make this one single mesh. So I'm going to go to select all by trait. And when you click on non-manifold, you're going to see that you have a couple of broken things around here. It looks like the mesh is broken in several pieces. So we need to take care of that. Now for that, we're going to go to mesh. We're going to go to merge. And we're going to go by distance. So by distance, what's going to do is it's going to merge those points that are either on top of each other or so close that you cannot see it, but they are separated. So they are going to be merged, and we're going to have one single piece. So I'm just going to merge by distance. And you see, I don't know if you can read it here down in the screen. It says it removed 3,000 and something vertices. That means that they welded them together. And now we have one single mesh. And that is the non-manifold part that I saw that the guy was talking about in the Metahuman tutorial. Okay, now that we have one single mesh, I'm going to get rid of this. Just going out and deleting things. Again, I'm not super proficient in Blender, so if you are experienced in Blender, you're probably cringing right now looking at me doing things, not being efficient, but whatever. I'm just hitting X, which is the delete shortcut, and selecting vertices. All right. The bottom around this it's probably not super necessary, but I just like to take it out. The one that is necessary is this. So this part right here, it was actually capturing my background. This we have to delete, and the reason why we have to delete that is because when the Metahuman generator generates your face, it will pick up every detail that can be seen in the front view. And because this detail is right next to the head, it's going to pick up on that. So I'm just going to delete it. And select all, X. And you know the drill. I'm just going to clean this up, and I'll be right back in 1 second. All right. So, I mean, got to clean more or less things that, I forgot about this little part of the ear. Just get rid of that real quick. Okay, so I think I got the most of it. If we go by the frontal view, yeah, I think I got most of it. So this should suffice for what we want to do. If you have somebody else to help you out scanning, you probably don't have to do as much cleanup. But I just want to show that you can do it yourself. So I'm just going to go back to object mode, and let me just delete this collection. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna export this out. So I'm gonna go File, Export, FBX, and let's throw it in a place where I'm going to know where it is. Okay, I'm gonna throw it right here, and I'm going to call it scanhead_2. Now there are a couple of things that you should do here. One is in path mode, you have to select copy, and you have to click this button right here. That way your textures will carry over through your XBX. So once you add it into Unreal, it will have the same textures. You don't have to mess with this, but I just like to leave mesh and armature on, and we're gonna go back here in geometry. I'm gonna do face so it's smooth, and uncheck bake animation. Those are the things I usually do when taking things out of Blender, and then just click export FBX. Now over here in Unreal, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab my ScanHead V2 and just throw it here. On any of this, I didn't change anything. It's all by default, so just import all. And you're gonna get this message. It's not a warning, it's just telling you that what it did. And you have your scanned head right here with its material, the UVs or the texture, and you're good to go. So if you wanted to check out your scan inside Unreal, it's oh, the camera is very fast, sorry, but it looks very weird. The reason why it looks like that is because of the material. So I usually go into the material, I'm just gonna hit 1 and click. We're gonna go to specular and just copy and paste. And we're gonna take this to 0.9 and plug it into roughness. That way we don't have any specularity or anything. All right, now when I open my head, it's a little bit better to see. Of course, it's not well lit, but again, that doesn't matter. It's not part of the system. A couple of things. If you've never used Metahumans, you have to go into Quixel Bridge, or if you never used Quixel Bridge for that matter, you need to have Quixel Bridge for Unreal Engine 5. Alright, so if you've never used Metahumans, you're probably going to have to go here in this little person tab, and my Metahumans and the Metahuman you create will be located right here with this symbol, and this will be what you take into Metahuman Creator. But now we need to get into how to do the mesh to Metahuman thing in Unreal Engine. So for that, we're just going to go right click. And if you've installed the plugin, I almost forgot, you need to install the plugin. The plugin is it's free on the marketplace. I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below. But once you've done that, just go to settings, plugins, look for Metahuman, and you have it here. You just have to check it, accept, and restart. You know, the usual thing you do for plugins. And after that, once you right click, you're gonna see that you have Metahuman as a tab. This is something new that came with the blueprint. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open a Metahuman capture identity. I'm gonna click there. I'm gonna call it NMR 3D dev_v2. Click on that, and once we open it, we're going to get this. So this is your usual window that you get every time you've used Unreal. So all we have to do is we need to click on components from mesh, and I'm just going to look for my head scan. There you go, scan head 2. There it is. Let me go towards it. Or you can just go here and focus selected. The problem with focus selected is that it acts with the pivot, so it's probably going to take you all the way up there. So you may have to just roll with your camera a little bit. There you go, there we are. And I know it looks terrible, you cannot see anything here because we are in lit mode, so I'm just going to switch to unlit mode. There you go. Now I can see my full face. So make sure you are in unlit mode. Now there's this A to B thing, which is what we're going to be using to compare things once we get the mesh from the Metahuman. There are a couple of things that they recommend for this to play well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the field of view to 20, which is one of the recommendations that they give on the Metahuman video. I'm just going to go scroll back a little bit. I wish this camera wasn't moving as fast, but it kind of is. So it is what it is. There you go. Okay. I think that's as center as it's ever going to be. Now we need to select the neutral pose, and you see that once you select a neutral pose, this thing comes alive, the promote frame. Promote frame is what we're going to need. We're basically telling the engine this is going to be the frame that they are going to pick to do the tracking for the eyes, the mouth, and the nasolabial folds. This is how I understand it. It's probably running differently in the background, but this is what I got from their video. So we're just going to click on promote frame, and it's done. So you can see the frame is already being captured. All right, now that the frame is being promoted, you can double click and name whatever you want. You can also lock camera and do a couple of things. So let's unlock camera. We also can turn on auto tracking mode. It's loading trackers. As you can see, it's going to take a minute. And there you go. I have the tracking over the guidelines that I already talked about, which is the nasolabial, your lips, and your eyes. This is what this is going to use to get where your landmarks are in your face. And again, this is as I understand it. So if you move your face, you're going to see the trackers move with it. All right. So this once you've promoted the frame, you can move your camera freely. It doesn't matter what you do to it. So we can just turn these off. And what we're going to do now is we need to make the metahuman identity solve for it to create our mesh. I'm going to click here, and it's going to take a little bit. So I'll be back when this is done. All right. That actually was pretty quick. It took a little bit longer first time. And as you can see, we have our mesh. Now over here, we have our mesh. And as you can see, it's fairly similar to what we have. We do have a way to compare A to B. So let's turn on, we have neutral pose template mesh. There you go. So as you can see, the template mesh is looking very similar. So if you unselect the neutral pose, the markers will go away. But you can see that the mesh that's underlying it, it's fairly similar to the my scan face. So it's looking pretty good. And let me turn off the neutral pose mesh, and as you can see, this is how I would look as a 3D character, and I must say is very accurate. So if I turn on this again, yeah, it looks really good. So as you can see, this is the reason why it only needs the frontal and sides. It's never going to be using the back of your head for any reference whatsoever, so you don't have to put too much love and care in the back. Just do the fronts and the sides as best as you can. If you have long hair, remember to tie that down, because otherwise it's going to interfere. And as you can see, my hair on the sides kind of interfered with the mesh, because if I turned off the neutral pose, you can see that this is protruding out because it was picking up my hair. So that was the problem that I was talking about. If you have a beard, it's going to pick that out, and it's going to make horrible bumps for you in there. All right, now we have our nice looking mesh, and this really looks, if I look at it this way, it does look like me. Scary. But the other thing that we need to do right now is we need to make a body. So we need to tell it which kind of body you're gonna have. I'm going to have the body that I wish I had, which is this one, which looks very ripped right now. So I'm trying to lose weight. I'm almost here. But yeah, I like this one right here. And once you have that, you can also select the height. I'm pretty sure that this middle is just the average. Remember, if you go to Metahuman Creator, you have short, average, and tall. If you put it all the way to the end, it's going to be the tall metahumans. Now, I'm just going to leave it as average because I'm just 6'1", so there you go. I'm just going to go to mesh to metahuman, just click here, and it's going to start doing the thing, sending it to their server and all that. This will probably depend on your connection, so just wait on it, be patient. And for me, it took about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to cut it here, and I'll be back when this thing is done. Once it's done, you're gonna get this message: your metahuman is now available in Creator. In my metahuman section, you're gonna click OK. And now we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Bridge and look for it. So after that, you just click on here, go to my metahumans, and you're gonna see that I do have two symbols because this one is for this, which was my first try. This is what we just did. As you can see, it says mr3ddev_v2, which is what we created. And we're just going to click here and start Metahuman Creator. It's going to take you to the browser. All right, after that, we just click on Start Metahuman Creator, and it should bring us over here. Now you're gonna see that you have a couple of things. You have launched the original Metahuman Creator, which, I mean, for some reason you wanna go there. I'm just gonna stick with the latest Metahuman Creator, which I think it's made only for Unreal Engine 5. I could be wrong. That's probably why they keep this. But let's just launch the latest Metahuman Creator. This is gonna take a little bit, so I'll be back once this thing is loaded. All right, we're here in Metahuman Creator. Let me make this bigger. And as you can see myself being animated in there. It does have a couple pounds for some reason. My head looks a lot larger. I'm just going to edit selected. Let's go to high ray traced. All right. Okay, then you can see me animating here with a regular body, and you can rotate. If you do rotation, if I look at it this way, it does look like me. It's just for some reason I decided to inflate my cheeks. It's okay, I have big cheeks. Now I'm just gonna pause this and let's go to face. And I was gonna keep it medium so it doesn't take too long. And what we're gonna do is gonna go to custom mesh. And in here, you can adjust any imperfections or any problems that you had in the mesh. So for instance, like this, I know this is just the renderer picking up my hair, so we need to get rid of that. So I'm going to reduce that all the way. So I do have a round head again, and I don't have anything protruding from the side. Let's also look at my jaw. Let's see what it does. Let's leave it over here. Cheeks. That's not changing much, but okay. All right, so I think I'm happy with this. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. One of the things you can do if you don't want to edit just one by one, you can just do this. And the problem with the overall influence is that it changes everything. So I'm just gonna undo that. And I think I just destroyed what I created in the beginning. So I'm just gonna go back and just redo a couple things. Just leave it here. And for the neck, and the jaw, just a little bit over here. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it there. You can also, I could go straight to skin and add textures and all that, but you can enable editing. I'm just going to unlock it. You can make a duplicate if you want. I'm just going to unlock only, and it's going to allow me to do sculpting, to do blending, and all those kinds of things if you want to change your character around. So I'm just going to unlock it. And there you go. Now, if you remember from the previous Metahuman Creator, and right now I don't know why it's running in its lowest resolution. There you go. That looks a little bit better. If you remember from previous Metahuman Creator, all your sculpting tools were down here. They're no longer there. They're right here for some reason. But you can see you have blend, you have sculpt, and you have move. So if we go to move, we can move things around. And I'm going to, I think my lips should be a little bit more forward. Let's see, my ears are fine. I'm going to leave everything as it is. Now we go to sculpt, and I'm going to change my cheeks just a little bit more because my cheeks are not like that. There you go. Same over here. I don't have big cheekbones. Let's see. Okay, more or less. This is more or less like myself. It's not one-to-one, but it's fairly accurate. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to go to skin. I'm not going to do blend because if you do blend, then you're just going to look like someone else. So what's the point? Now here in color, you need to assign a color for your skin. And as you move it, you can see it gets a color. So this is how it would look after being in the sun for more than 3 hours. So I'm just going to dial it all the way down to here. Now, one of the things I like to do, and I thought it was great, the fact that we have the engine open, is I'm just going to do these side by side just to make sure that I have kind of the same. Let me see. Starters, let's go to face. Okay, now it's kind of in the same. Height, hair. Let's do, I don't know, let's do some other kind of lighting like this one. There you go. So that looks a little bit more like, you know, what we have here. Let me change this. It looks like I need a little bit more reds when it comes to my skin color. So let's go this way. If you go all the way up, it's going to be super red. Go down, it's going to be not as red. It's going to leave it here. And the way the camera is here, it's a little bit different than the way the camera is pointing at me right here. So that also, you need to take that into account. And again, I do have a weird face, so it's probably harder for the Metahuman Creator to get that. Now what I need to do is the textures. You can move the textures over here. I'm just going to copy this one because I do like it. But let's see what happens if I move it over all the way down here. Oh, so this is what I would look if I was really, really old. That's not good. Let me see. Okay, so that's now you can scroll through these textures till you find something that is kind of like yourself. Whoops, that one, this one is actually, yeah, this one is closer to what I have here. All right, so I think I'm getting closer to kind of like this type of skin that I have. May have, one of the things that I've noticed is for some reason it didn't pick up my nose being lowered, so I'm just going to lower my nose a little bit more. And let me see. If I go to my side of my head, let's see how we look. There's a couple of things that we could change in here. So my cheeks have to go forward this way. This also has to go forward this way. And I think my nose, okay, I'm going to leave the skin as it is, and some of the changes that I just made to the face, I'm just going to make it a little less rough. So I have fairly oily skin. Gonna go to eyes. My eyes are usually brown, so there you go. Teeth, doesn't matter. Makeup, I don't wear makeup, so let's just move on. Hairstyles, let's see. I do have some kind of like wavy, curly. And by the way, now that we're here, yeah, you're looking at it right. We do have plenty of more hairstyles to choose from. So thank you, Metahuman teams, for getting us more hairstyles. I was kind of struggling with some of my characters, but thankfully we do have more to choose from. So let me try some of these. Okay, that's yeah, that's me if I had a nice haircut. I usually don't, so, but yeah, that's kind of my hairstyle usually. And what I'm gonna do is color preset. My hair is dark brown. Now, if you go here on details, you're gonna see that we have some things. The ombre, I don't know what ombre has to do with hair. To me, ombre is just man in Spanish with an H. But if we just click here, you're gonna see that, oh, there you go. So it's, if I had some highlights, this actually looks good, but not on me. So you can also have actual highlights if you're into that kind of thing. I'm just going to, let's see, it says variation, bold, blended, traditional. I do like that we have a lot of highlights to choose from and a lot of styles, so you can go crazy with this over here. I'm going to increase the salt and pepper a little bit because I am 36 years old, so a couple gray hairs starting to show already. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now let's go to the eyebrows. I do have bushy eyebrows, so I'm just going to switch it to this. Maybe this one, let's see. Okay, this looks closer to what I look like in here. I wish there was a fuller type of eyebrow. Apparently not, so I'm just going to keep with this one right here. Yeah, that one looks good. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. And let's see, eyelashes is fine. Mustache, I'm just gonna do as if I shaved a couple of days ago, like that. There you go. So if I don't shave for like 5 days, I'll look like this. Okay, so there you go, that's me. And let me see, there's something here. Just add a little bit more cheek here. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's actually pretty close to what I look like. Now let's go to body. If I go to body, I think my head is a little bit bigger than my body. I'm usually the other way around in real life. My head is a little bit tinier than my body, so I'm just gonna go with like 0.07. Whoops, that's increasing. It's minus 0.07. And that shrunk it down a little bit. It's just a tad. It's not completely shrunk down. Okay, so it has the, you can see it has the average body with this one right here, which is the one that I choose from the Metahuman Creator. So you can still choose another body. What I'm thinking is the reason why you want to choose your body when you are in the engine is because it will try to match your head a little bit better than just doing it right here, but you can always change. Now for the tops, you're gonna see that we have a lot more selection now, and I love that. So I'm just gonna give myself a t-shirt. This one is fine. Now let's choose a darker color. So around here, I usually wear dark colors. That's fine. Let's go with the sleeves. I'm not into greens. Blue is fine, so I'm just gonna leave it there. And now we have some details that we can change over here regarding the fabric. You can choose whatever fabric you want, like this, some points, some weird weaving around here, but I'm just going to leave it at none for now. What I do like, and I'm loving this feature, is the fact that they added graphics, because now it's really easy to add graphics, and we're going to talk about that later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something simple like this, and just add a graphic. If you want to customize your graphic, I don't see anything for customization here just yet, but if you want to customize your graphic, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Just add a graphic to your metahuman. Now let's go in my pants, because I don't like to be in my underwear except when I'm doing mocap. So I'm just going to change it to jeans. Now those jeans look fine. A little bit more of a blue jeans. There you go. And for shoes, I'm gonna get myself sneakers. So I always wear sneakers. Or, nah, this looks like sleepers, so I'm just gonna keep these sneakers. Yeah, they're fine. That's a good color. So I'm gonna go to here, body. Let's see how we look. All right, so we're looking nice. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back to the engine. So I'm just going to head over to my Metahumans here in the creator just to make sure that everything got saved. And here I am, looking cool. Some imperfections on my skin as I usually have, which is what I like about this. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You can close out of this. It's going to, hey, you made changes, just click on leave and it's fine. So once you have done that, you're going to see that you're here. My metahuman is here, and all I have to do is hit download and then hit ask. Okay, generating took a little while, but I'm guessing because they just launched this, a lot of people are doing it and their servers are full. We got myself here. Yep, that's myself with a little bit of a better hair. And the other thing that I want to show you in this tutorial is how to add the graphic for my t-shirt. For this, I'm going to give a shout out to PixelProf. I'm going to leave his channel name on the screen. There's also going to be a link to the video that he made on this. He did it on a 2-color graphic print. So if you want to do color variation, go watch his channel. Also go subscribe to him. He has some awesome virtual production stuff that you should watch. I've learned so much from him, so go subscribe. What we need to do is go to the material. So just browse to the material as I always do. Go to the graphic. And this is the reason why you need to add a graphic if you wanna to add some custom stuff to your clothing, because it's so easy just to pick up this texture. All we're gonna do is export this out. You can go into Photoshop or GIMP if you want to use something free, and you can add your graphic to it. In this case, it doesn't have any color. We could add a primary color with this. The way that PixelProf showed it is with color variation, but I'm just going to do it with black and white because that's what the MR3D logo is. So I'm just going to right click, Asset Actions, and I'm going to export this. And it's going to save it as a TGA. That's fine. Both Photoshop and GIMP should be able to open that file. Now what I need to do is just get my logo over here and position it kind of where these headphones are. So I'm just going to go here, select everything, Control Z, and it's going to be super tiny, I know. Just going to rescale, and hopefully Photoshop will do a good job of not pixelating it to oblivion, which it kind of is. I need to look for the vector graphics where I made this. When I hit OK, actually it doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to keep it. And let's see, we are going to, so this needs to be a PNG with an alpha channel, otherwise it's going to look like if I have a stamp. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create another layer. I'm going to disable this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that background part like this. Hopefully it gets translated well. And we're going to save this as, so we're just going to save a copy as a PNG. Doesn't have to be a TGA. As long as you save the, it doesn't have to be a TGA. I'm just going to switch this to MR3D logo. Save it in there. And because it's a PNG and we have no background, it instantly saves the alpha. So after that, all we need is to bring it over. So we are here and I'm gonna save it so it doesn't go away. I'm gonna throw it here and see how it looks. And there you go. Actually, it looks great. I was not expecting it to look this good because I kind of had to rescale it a lot, but it looks amazing. So make sure you have an image that is comparable in resolution, but other than that, I think Photoshop did an amazing job. So even if I get close enough, you can still see that it doesn't pixelate. I mean, even if we get this close, then yeah, we do see some jagged edges, but I think for the position where the camera is going to be all the time, I think this is pretty cool.